boardwalkers to my art studio. There are endless ways to make skin tone colors using the three primaries. The old masters used a 50-50% mixture of yellow ochre and cadmium red because yellow ochre was a fairly common color to use. Naples yellow, with its lighter, warmer pigment, was also a good choice to use. These yellows mixed very well with the various colors of red pigments available at the time. These mixtures, basic mixtures, could be lightened, darkened, grayed, or intermixed for skin tones. To lighten or tint the color required using titanium white, which is also known as permanent white, to achieve warmer tones. If you use the Chinese white, which is also known as zinc white, it would result in cooler tones for your skin tones. To darken the mixture, the basic mixture, required using either burnt sienna or burnt umber to give it that darker, warmer tone. To gray or neutralize this basic recipe required you to use Viridian Green, Chrome Oxide Green, or Ultramarine Blue to achieve a variety of skin tone colors. If you're new to my channel, I'm CB Mac, and on this channel you'll find tutorials about plein air painting with watercolors, gouache, ink, graphite, charcoal, and colored pencils. I also enjoy reviewing art supplies. Today I thought I'd share with you how I'm going to go about figuring out the skin tone colors for my upcoming entry of a self-portrait still life for Slew's online contest that I talked about in our last video, drawing a figure with the mannequin. And I'll link that video in the description below. So let's get started. This is the reference photo that I'm using for that competition. And I'm going to try and see if I can come up with some skin tone colors to match the lighter skin tone on my arm, the darker brown skin tones on my forearm, and the shadow gray tones on this other arm of mine in my video, in my reference photo here. The colors we're going to use are going to come from my Winsor & Newton filled palette. It's a 14 color filled palette set, but I've added a 15th color in this little watercolor cup. And like I said on my last video, I have 2 of these sets, so I use both of the water cups with one set. My colors that are in this set are lemon yellow, cadmium yellow, cadmium red, alizarin crimson, permanent rose, purple lake, ultramarine, cerulean blue. I've added a cobalt blue, Viridian green, sap green, yellow ochre, burnt sienna, burnt umber, and Payne's gray. I've also got up here my 2 whites This one is the Chinese white, no, the titanium permanent white, which is a little warmer compared to the Chinese zinc white, which is a little cooler. And it looks like I'm going to have to add a little more water to my permanent titanium white. It's drying out. The temperature here is super hot. We're still under those heat advisories. And I have re-wet these colors many times before starting up this video today. Alright, let's make sure I've got enough water in my 3 containers. I've got a little water there, a little water there, and my 3rd water there. Put that out of the way. And I've already got a 50-50 mix of my yellow ochre here and a tad, oh, that's not the right color. There's my paper towel. That's my yellow ochre, but that is not my, no, yes that is. That is my cadmium red, okay. I was thinking I was dipping in the other. There is my 50-50 mix of my yellow ochre and cadmium red. And I'm going to pull this out of the way for a moment. Let's put this 50-50 mixture up here. It's a really dark mixture. But when we water it out, let's see how light we can get it and see what that color tone's gonna look like. Oh, it'll make a nice light pinkish tone. It'll make a fair skin color. We'll see how that lightens up as we go along. And we'll also compare it with my reference photo. I'll set it there beside my reference photo. Now, if I want to lighten up that color, put it over here. Let me dip into my titanium white, and let's see what that titanium white will do. My titanium white is looking really bad with this warmer weather. We mix that in there with that. Oh, that gives it a nice creamier color, a peachier color. Get that hair off of there. That gives it a nice peachier beige color. That almost looks like it would go with that arm color. Oh, come on now, don't turn on me. Now, if we add the zinc white instead of the titanium white. Titanium white is a little more opaque than the Chinese white, and it's more towards the wash opaqueness compared to the zinc white, which is what most people in watercolor consider your mix-in white. Okay, that looks a little creamier and peachier, but it's a little bit cooler than the other. Stay up there. Go rolling. Let's try this one again. Put some more color in that one. And go back to this other white. This titanium white. See if I can get that to come up right. There we go. And that's gonna lighten that a little bit, but you see how that's still a little bit warmer and not as peachy pink as the other color we have here. My titanium white is just not mixing smoothly. It is drying out and crumbling. I'm gonna have to put some new white in my container, I think. All right, let me mix up some more of my yellow ochre. And just a touch, because that cadmium red is super powerful. Now let's move this over and let's see if we can darken this color, gray it up with some Viridian Green, since I have Viridian Green, and then we'll also try the Ultramarine Blue. Here's the Viridian Green. And let's see, ooh, and I got too much again. All right, let's see what this does with graying up. Ah, there we go, it's graying up now, nicely. Let's add a little more of our mixture color. Mixing your own skin tone colors takes quite a lot of practice. And since like I said last week, I'm not comfortable with doing portraits. So this is going to be a challenge for me. And what better way to share with you guys. There we go. Now it's graying up. But it's graying up really green. Really green gray. It's almost an olive green. Let's try that one more time. That is not looking like the color that I'm wanting. Try mixing up some more of this color. Just a touch of that red. Just a touch of it. All right, let's try this one more time. I'm sorry for that interruption. The dogs were barking. My daughter drove up. I I apologize for all of them barking in the background. I also apologize for the cats meowing at the intro of this video also. I didn't realize that the cats were meowing in the background. All right, but if you're enjoying this video, could I ask you to please subscribe to my channel, tap that thumbs up button, the like button, share this video, click on that bell notification icon so you can receive notifications of my upcoming videos. It makes a very huge difference in the growth and the support of my channel with the algorithm, the YouTube algorithm. And once again, I'd like to say thank you to all 36 or 37 of my subscribers. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I will continue to make this skin tone color that we were working on. I've had to drop another little drop of water in here on this color where we were at. So, and I've made some more of the skin tone color recipe. We were at the part on the recipe of a 50% mix of the yellow ochre and 50% mix of our cadmium red to get our basic recipe. So I'm going to try and smooth this clear water out. See if it's re-wetting, reconstituting this color that we have here on the page. And if I recall, we were trying to make this neutralized skin tone color. So let me see if I can get this loosened back up. We were using the Viridian Green to try and make that skin tone color, which is right here, and I got too much the last time, so I've just barely got a drop on here, and my goodness, that's still an awful lot. I just barely touched that. You rinse this brush out. That is still way too much color, I think. Let me see if I can grab some more skin tone color recipe to mix that in there. There we go. All right, that's looking a little lighter. A little more toward the muted color that I want. And I've got something in my brush. Get those bits out of there. All right, so we're mixing this skin tone color. It's not mixing up too well there. Let's try this. But we can see how it's muted right here around the edges. I'm going to try mixing some of this skin tone color with our Ultramarine Blue and see if we can get it to mute a little bit better with that. I still have our reference photo here that we can sit beside it. And let me go in here and get just a touch of this blue. I think I like this Ultramarine Blue graying and neutralizing the skin tone color a lot better than I do that Viridian Green. That Viridian Green just has a little too much of the yellow, extra yellow in it that makes it green, whereas this is the right color that I think I want. Let's see if we can enlarge this and put this next to it. Yeah, see, that dark section of our arm, forearm, looks a lot like that, a lot more like that one. And the pinky shades of my arm are looking more like these lighter shades that we've made before. So I think we've pretty much figured out what I want to do for my skin tone colors and what colors I want to use. We'll use a watered down version of my regular 50% yellow ochre and 50% cadmium red, just watered it down, or using a little bit of white in it to pink it up. And then I think we'll use our basic recipe with our Ultramarine Blue. So let's bring this down, and I'll take my kneaded eraser and I'll go over one of these little figures from this drawing, the figure with the mannequin that we used last time, the little wooden mannequin. And we'll take some of that off. And we'll see what this color looks like on the skin tone. This is the one that I made with the yellow last time, and a little bit of the cadmium red, or our not our cadmium red, our rose permanent. That's what it was, the rose permanent rose color. I had to stop and think about that for a minute, the name. I have a Quin Rose in my other set of watercolors, and then this is Rose Permanent. All right, so let's grab some of this color, and we'll place it all on our little figure here, this basic recipe. Down the leg here. And I think this recipe is going to be a lot better for my skin tone on my self-portrait than that lemon yellow or cadmium yellow with the red. Put a little darker shade of it on the top half, and we'll see how this dries. Compared to this yellow version. And then I think next week, I will probably do a video on actually drawing this reference photo onto a sheet of Hahnemühle, my professional grade Hahnemühle watercolor paper, my 300 GM2, 140 pound, 100% cotton watercolor paper. I think we shall use this watercolor paper for my painting. And that. Please feel free to post a comment or ask me any questions below. I do read each and every comment, and I'll try to answer every question if you have any. You may also follow me on Facebook or Instagram. I look forward to seeing you guys again next week. Goodbye for now.